Abrams returned to Star Wars.
That's a different show. Welcome back, everyone. We had some technical difficulties earlier with Google Hangout. I think we're doing good. How are you on your side, Jay?
I'm good.
Are we all good? So we were talking about the snowman, so we're going back to the snowman. So after I told you about did you hear what I said about the director? The director said there was 10 to 15% of the script they didn't even film, that they discovered in the editing room. And so he says 15% of the movie is missing.
Crazy.
What does that make you feel about the movie or think about the movie?
It makes sense if you really think about it. It just does, because it did seem like, especially where the end, it gets really choppy, really rushed, and just really weak.
Right. Here was my problem with the movie. The detectives in the movie are beyond incompetent. Fassbender's character seemed incompetent. He has this whole crack team that are incompetent. Maybe it's because nothing happens in Norway, that when there are murders, they don't know what to do. But man, like the way he treats his subordinates is like, he's like, give me this. No, I can't give you this. He's like, give me this. Okay. I'm like, what? I feel like the movie, it takes place in some sort of bizarre world. What did you do you think they were good detectives or what?
No, but it was weird to the whole, like, oh, he's the drunk, so he's, kind of a detective, but not really. He's suspended.
He's a senior detective.
But he's still a drunk. He was still a drunk.
Yeah, he was passed out. He's waking up on the streets like a vagrant, and he's sleeping in parks because he's a degenerate alcoholic. And his ex-girlfriend and his son, who doesn't know that Fassbender's character Harry is his father, even though that is his actual son.
Yeah.
And he's having troubles, and he thinks like him not knowing he's his father is for the best, or some strange, ridiculous BS. Oh man, why is he not disciplined at all? Because I mean, damn.
I don't know. It was weird, but where it really got weird for me was toward the end, where okay, we're gonna have a sex scene because we're gonna have a sex scene.
That doesn't count as a sex scene. I'm sorry. That's
I know. I'm not saying it does, but I'm saying that they tried to do that, and then just the movie just goes downhill from there.
Awkward.
Like, what the heck?
It was awkward. That whole scene was awkward. Man, have you ever seen Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy?
No, I haven't.
That was this director's previous film, and it's a good film. It's a little slow, but it's a good, like, old-fashioned kind of spy thriller. Very well done. It's just unfortunate, for whatever reason, this film had so many things working against it, and it didn't turn out well at all.
Yeah, I actually saw something happen that I haven't seen at a screen in a long time. People actually were walking out. They're like, and I'm done. And they literally like
I've seen that. I've seen that happen, but it's in very rare instances.
Yeah, it's rare.
And this was a bad movie.
It just was.
This is by far not the worst movie I've ever seen, but it was a real awkward movie, and if it was me, I would have reshot all the scenes with Val Kilmer, because there was just something off about all of them.
Or recast him. I mean, geez.
I would have reshot them with a different actor, is what I mean.
Yeah.
Recast him, just because it didn't look like he was well enough to work on the movie. And
no,
I like Val Kilmer a lot, and I was excited when I first saw his name in the credits, but he seemed unwell.
Well, he was his performance was disappointing. J.K. Simmons' performance was disappointing.
Fassbender
was kind of disappointing.
Rebecca Ferguson was disappointing. I mean, why did she sound British? I mean, Rebecca Ferguson is not. She's not even from England. Where's she? She's from Sweden. Okay. I mean, she does very well in hiding her accent if she is from Sweden. I mean, why does everyone talk with a British accent in this film? It's so weird.
It made sense to somebody, but I have no idea who.
The director is Swedish. I don't know why it would have made sense to him. So I highly doubt we're going to see any more Harry Hule movies or any more. Maybe we'll see some more Norwegian noir, but I don't think we'll see any sequels to this because this comes
Okay.
from like a very popular series of Norwegian noir books. Like,
Mhm.
have you read The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo books or any of those or seen any
No,
of
but I
those?
saw the first movie, but I haven't read the books. No.
They're making a new one. Did you hear about that?
They're doing another Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah, hold on.
Mhm.
Basically, like they're not using the same. It's not going to be the same actors.
Mhm.
Claire Foy. Okay, so Claire Foy is going to play the new Lisbeth Salander in The Girl in the Spider's Web.
Okay.
So I guess it's gonna be like a loose sequel to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo because they're not bringing back Daniel Craig or Rooney Mara who were in the first movie, and David Fincher is not going to direct it either.
Mhm.
So a bit weird. All right, so that was The Snowman. Only the Brave. I would say don't see The Snowman. Only the
Avoid it
Brave.
like the plague. Avoid it like the plague.
The Only the Brave, like you said, matinee or wait or stream, or if it comes on a streaming service, an HD service or a Blu-ray, check it out. There is what I would say.
Mhm. Mhm.
All right, so all right, moving on a little bit. The last episode of the Orville,
Mhm.
good episode, I thought. What did you think?
Mhm. I enjoyed it because again, it like they it was basically like start off as we're gonna find out more about the Crow because we really don't know much of anything about them, not really, except they're a dangerous threat that decimates shit.
Basically, the Krill are this series versions of Klingons. It's pretty obvious.
Mm. In our manner of speaking, a little bit crueler and a little bit more powerful, but
So this episode was titled "The Krill."
Mhm.
Let's see. It was directed by John Cassar, who's done a lot of 24 episodes. Actually, I think he was also he's done quite. I think he was one of the lead guys on 24,
Could
if
be.
I'm remembering correctly, the TV series. Yeah. So I thought it was a good episode. I liked that we learned a lot more about the Krill. They're kind of they're very religious,
Mhm.
and they basically sort of believe that their enemies are kind of an affront to their religion, and they have to destroy them, and they don't have souls.
Mhm.
Uh, Basically, Mercer, Seth MacFarlane, and Malloy,
Mhm.
his captain Scott Grimes, played by Scott Grimes, they infiltrate. They destroy a Krill vessel that was attacking a non-combatant colony. They use the shuttle they acquire from the wreckage to sneak aboard a Krill ship in order to scan a copy of the Ankana, which I believe is like their version of the Bible, so
Yes.
they can try and learn more about the Krill and possibly learn how to talk with them in some way.
Mhm.
So they're disguised aboard this ship. Some of the other Krill aboard the ship are suspicious of them, and they're trying to scan this their holy book, the Ankana. I
Mhm.
thought it was a pretty interesting episode and pretty serious episode. Once again,
Mhm.
not a lot of
Mhm.
jokes.
Really
All
was.
the
Yeah.
jokes, all the jokes were kind of centered around. Okay, the Krill have a god
Mhm.
that's called Avis. Oh,
Mhm.
that's like a 20th century rental car, like Avis, the rental car company. And then they
Mhm.
made another joke called Hertz about Hertz. The humans believe in a god called Hertz, which is
Mhm.
another keeping in line with rental car companies being named gods.
And,
So
what I really liked about this episode was I liked where it
yeah,
took a turn from being a peaceful mission to realizing they had to go more drastic because they had a bomb that was going to destroy the whole entire
right,
colony, thousands of lives.
right. So they're aboard the Krill ship, and they find that this ship has a bomb, and this bomb is going. They're going to use this bomb to attack a civilian colony, basically.
Mhm.
So they're at it. Like, do we? How do we? How do we save the colony and complete the mission? And
Mhm.
the dilemma is They feel like they have to destroy the bomb and destroy the ship, but there are Krill children aboard the ship that Mercer is not okay with killing.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the children was like quite curious and inquisitive and didn't seem to outright hate the humans. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, I do know what you mean.
So what do you think of the Krill as characters? Do you think this was a good way to develop them as characters? And I feel like the show is constantly getting better, but do you disagree or what?
No, I think it was really good because you got to learn more about them, find out they weren't just really like, these evil things. They had a reason for what they were doing. They thought they were right with what they were doing. And it gave a lot more depth and kind of like, and of course the ending is wonderful. The ending was really, I think, great, where it just showed, like, it's kind of like in a way they made things with the Krill worse, not better in the long run, is kind of what happened.
Okay, here's the jokes I didn't think that landed, like at the beginning, when they tried to get Mortis to eat all that weird stuff, because like he can digest it. That I didn't think was that funny,
I thought it was kind of cool though, because it was funny, like they just realized, like, hey, we can make him eat anything. This is kind of cool. So I actually thought those were kind of funny for the first while.
It was kind of like Jackass kind of humor to me, like Jackass the TV show. Yeah. So I wasn't crazy about, but I think the show is better to me when it's serious. When it's serious and unironic, I think it's pretty good, and I enjoy watching it. Will you continue watching the Orville, you think?
I do think so, yeah.
All right.
I will, absolutely.
So, meanwhile, so DuckTales has been well underway this season. This was another hot ticket animated show. How have you been liking DuckTales so far, Jay?
I've liked it so far, but what's been kind of interesting, because like the last one was all adventures, right? And this one has really been, the last few episodes especially, just about family. It hasn't really been necessarily adventures on the surface. Now, adventures come out of them, like the last one with the House of the Lucky Gander, right?
Right.
We get to find out, oh, Donald had a brother. I don't remember hearing he had a brother before. So that
cousin. It was his cousin.
Was it his cousin? I thought it was his brother.
Cousin. It was Gladstone Gander, and Gladstone was in the original animated series.
Okay, I don't remember him that much, but he may have been there.
He was.
So you get to see him.
Gladstone's whole gimmick is that he's like excessively lucky. He always has good luck, basically, and that was consistent. That was consistent in this episode.
And so what was really cool with that episode was we get to see another member of the family, and Scrooge. It's funny because Scrooge wants to go on an adventure, but they all keep getting distracted or stuck where they couldn't leave. Right.
Like at that casino, they're all distracted by all the stuff at the casino, the food.
And I thought it was. And then it was. Did you know that B.D. Wong voiced that character? Did you know that?
I do now. Yeah.
I thought that was
Toad Lu Hai. He was the villain in the episode.
I thought that was awesome.
B.D. Wong from Gotham and Jurassic World.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome to see him do that. That was a great choice. A
lot of good guest stars in this show. Just for example,
and then so then we had that episode.
You want to know? Do you know who played? Gladstone Gander?
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Paul F. Tompkins.
Oh, nice. That's really cool.
He's a comedian, Paul F. Tompkins. Nice. He was Gladstone Gander. I knew that voice sounded familiar. I just didn't place it. Oh, and guess who plays? In the episode before, we got our first glimpse of. Oh
yeah, of Gyro, right?
No, Magica.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Magica Dispel.
Yeah, that's right.
Magica is voiced by Catherine Tate, who fans might know as Donna Noble from Doctor Who.
She also we saw her a little bit, though we didn't hear her talk. In the Beagle Birthday Massacre, we saw her first. When we saw her again, her spoke on the Terror Fermians.
Right, and Gyro Gearloose is in the show. We've gotten to see him. He was in. We saw him first show up in the third episode, and that's Jim Rash from Community. Have you ever remember Community? He was like I think the dean, I guess, of the school.
I watched it once or twice, a few episodes.
All right, so good. Yeah, I mean, all the supporting characters. They got some really good voice actors. I
Yeah,
think.
so the House of the Lucky Gander was really cool. It was really funny, and I enjoyed it. But it was more family oriented. It wasn't really adventures yet.
Right.
And then the newest episode, the Infernal Internship of Mark Beeks, was the same thing. It was sort of adventure when you got into it, but it started off with like kind of family stuff again, which is kind of interesting. And basically, that one, if you haven't seen it, have you seen that episode?
Yeah.
You know, where really it's kind of funny to see like Scrooge and Glomgold kind of join forces. They're like, we don't want this new annoying kid. This could be a part of our billionaires club.
Mark
Yeah.
Beeks,
We don't want you to be a part of our billionaires club. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah. It was kind of a nice little subversion on that. And animation, I think, is really top notch for the show. I think I think the writing is really good. I think I think my thing is, though, I think I like all the guest characters more than the main ones, honestly. Like, I thought Toad Lahai was a cool character. I thought Mark Beeks. I think do you think who is the creator of Facebook?
Mark Zuckerberg.
Do you think they were trying to make Mark Beeks kind of like Mark Zuckerberg a little bit?
I think what it was really going to is just like how some of those new like app creators can like, you know, become these billionaires, but they don't necessarily do much work per se. I think that's what they were doing. So it wasn't necessarily just Mark Zuckerberg. It was, you know, more, it went deeper.
I thought it was a neat character. And then Falcon Graves, that was another cool character. I love these names. I love like Falcon Graves, Mark Beeks, Gladstone. I love how the theme of naming the characters kind of like, you know, birds and birds or ducks and whatnot.
I think what's been really good about this show so far is we're kind of seeing characters we haven't really seen before, like some new characters and some new tweaks on familiar ones. Like Gyra was different. Magica clearly is different. Something's happened to her, clearly.
I think Toad Lahai, I think, was a new character. He was definitely. So we're seeing both the old characters and the new characters, basically.
And well, that new friend that Webby has made is a new character. We've never seen her before, right?
Lena, yeah. So that's sort of a new.
Yeah, so
now Webby has a female friend named Lena now, so that's very interesting.
And we're also seeing more Beagles than we've seen before, and a lot of the Beagle Boys are clearly different in games.
There were tons of Beagle Boys in the original show, though. There'd be there was the main set of Beagle Boys, but then there would be other Beagle Boys.
I remember on the Beagle Birthday Bash, we saw Beagles we'd never seen before. Like, they were it was kind of cool. I liked. I thought that was kind of cool.
Right, for sure. But I liked the Toad Lahai episode. I like that we got a bit more of Donald and how Donald, you know, feels inferior to his cousin Gladstone, and because Donald, while Gladstone is very lucky, Donald is very unlucky, but that ultimately helped him in the end, because Toad Lahai wanted Gladstone because he's like a luck vampire, basically. And he was.
Well, it was so funny where, like, you know, they go just have Donald, and they're like, Scrooge, what the heck are you doing? He goes 3, 2, 1, and he's like, he's so awful.
Right. Toad Lahai. He forced them into a competition, and Toad Lahai wanted the winner to sponge off their luck, and then Donald was just too unlucky for him, and he ruined his luck mojo. So good on you, Donald, saving the day. So we still haven't gotten Darkwing Duck yet, but we're apparently going to get that episode at some point. Okay.
I want to learn more about Huey, Dewey, and Louie's mom too. We've gotten a little bit about that, but I want to learn more. I want to learn more.
That's the long game plot, though. Like, the long game plot is that their mother was one of their adventurers. Used to go on adventures with Donald and Scrooge, and they're trying to find out more about, or no, one of them in particular is trying to unravel the mystery of their mother. Which one is it?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
The mother is the mother is Della. And I want to say it's Huey who's really.
I do too. I want to say
it's Huey who's like who's. I think he's the one who's sort of investigating into Della the most, but
And then I really want to see too, why is Magica the way she is? What happened to her? I'm curious to see that too.
Magic. All right. So I think we're gonna basically, like, they're setting up everything. They're building everything up, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They're building everything up to show more later, and they're kind of taking a long-term storytelling approach to this whole series, which is pretty cool. I would agree. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, it's already got a second season signed up, so yeah, it makes sense.
Oh yeah, that's pretty impressive. So, yeah, the show's been. I think the show is constantly getting better, and I think it's very well written for the most part.
I agree.
Okay, so I think those are the main things we wanted to cover for today. On this week's edition of Collectible Delectable, where I show off a cool collectible item, keeping in line with the Star Wars discussion today. So this is another shared Funko Pop exclusive. This is another shared New York Comic Con Funko Pop of Boba Fett. Now, Jay, what is better than Boba Fett?
Boba Fett and the Slave One.
Boba Fett and the Slave One. Thank you. So this is a Funko Pop of Boba Fett and his ship, the Slave One. Boba Fett with Slave One. So this was a 40th anniversary Funko Pop made for the New York Comic Con. It's a shared exclusive with Toys R Us. A friend of mine got this for me as a gift. Thank you very much. So the only issue I have is, like, the Slave One, it doesn't fly in this direction. It's like the Slave One, it flies sort of kind of, I guess it would fly like this, but it has Boba Fett sitting like straight up in it, kind of in the, but it's still a cool Funko Pop nonetheless. Wouldn't you agree?
Sure. I agree. And there's one thing I want to talk about real quick that I kind of got a surprise this week too.
Right.
They sent me a review copy of Batman versus Two-Face, right?
Yeah, Batman versus Two-Face.
Which is the last
Adam West, the late Adam West playing Batman, and Burt Ward is Robin, right?
Yeah, and he finished it somehow before he passed, right? And then they got Julie Newmar in it, and William Shatner as Harvey Dent / Two-Face, which it sounds like a bad choice, but actually wasn't. And I'll get into that in a little bit why. But the basic gist of this story is we see, like, it starts with, they see Hugo Strange trying to suck out the evil from all the villains, right?
Right.
And Dr. Harleen Quinzel is there. Her and Joker clearly haven't gotten together yet. It's all the older, 60s villains. But it's new-looking Hugo Strange, and it's new-looking Dr. Harleen Quinzel, right?
Right.
And something goes horribly wrong. The essence gets blasted on, Harvey Dent. That makes him Two-Face. And then we see in the film, where he, you see, like, during the credits, like, all these things he does, all these battles they have, and all these capers they stop. And then I guess they do plastic surgery on him where he looks normal. So he doesn't look like Two-Face anymore. So supposedly he's reformed 6 months later.
That's a spoiler. Right? That's a major spoiler. So
it came out on Tuesday, so this will be spoiler.
Whatever.
I should have said that before, but it came out on Tuesday.
We got to preface things like that, Jay.
Fine.
Just remember for next time.
So anyways, so it's this will be spoiler. What I'm going to talk about. It came out on Tuesday, so it's been out for, a couple of days now.
All right.
And so then as the story goes along, and I'm not going to try to spoil everything here, but as it goes along, Harvey Dent is trying to be good, and he's like the assistant to the DA now, so he's not the DA anymore. And yet somehow Two-Face is still doing all these crimes, right? And they don't understand how is this happening. And Batman, because in this, Batman and Harvey Dent are like best friends. And he's like, I don't want to believe that Harvey Dent is doing these crimes.
So
I don't want to believe it. And it starts with King Tut shows up and is doing and they stop him doing something, and we get to see in this, which I've never seen.
Do they do the Batusi? Do they do the Batusi dance?
I don't think so. But as I was getting into, though, with King Tut, you get to see that I don't remember seeing this before. Mind you, I didn't watch the 60s show too much, where I guess King Tut is a professor, but when he gets conked on the head, he's got his alternate personality is King Tut.
Right.
So that was kind of cool to get to see that. And there's the big thing going on, like where Robin wants to go, look, Batman, it's Harvey Dent. It's Harvey Dent. Come on. And Batman's like, no, I don't believe it's Harvey Dent. Actually causes a rift and some argument for them for a minute because, Robin thinks Batman is blind because he can't believe his friend is bad.
Right.
So that's going on. And they have to figure out, you know, what's happening here, what's going on, why are these crimes happening? Is Two-Face acting alone, or is, you know, is it Harvey Dent somehow? So that's what's going on there. And I would have to say I was really surprised by this, actually. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. It was actually a pretty good story. You get to see new sides of Harvey Dent and Two-Face that you'd never really seen before. It's really kind of a new version
and
of
this is
the
basically, and this is like our probably one of our last performances for Adam West as well.
Yeah, it was it was a sequel to Return of the Cape Crusaders.
Right.
And it's got, like, you know, a number of the same people.
So it's a similar style, right?
Yeah, it is. But like I said, you get to see new sides of Harvey Dent and Two-Face. He definitely throws the Cape Crusaders for a loop because he's not the kind of villain they're used to going against usually. And there's a lot of, like, dilemmas here going on here for, you know, for Harvey Dent, for Batman, for Burt Ward. Because like I said, with Burt Ward not believing, like, you know, well, hey, I thought I was your best friend. Batman's going, yeah, Robin,
Dick Grayson.
Dick Grayson, Robin. Believing that, you know, I thought I was your best friend, your buddy and compatriot. You're saying someone else is your best friend. What the heck? So, like, there's a rift between the two of them, which was kind of interesting to see.
All right.
And the story just it's a really good story. It's probably one of the better.
Is it better than the last one they made in this style?
I didn't get a chance to see Return of the Crusaders, to be honest. I didn't get a chance to see that one.
You didn't see? Okay, but you like this one's good. Would you recommend this one?
I would. Now, the person I'd really recommend it to is if you're a fan of the 60s cartoon, because, like, it's got the cheesy, you know, the bliffs, the blams, the splats. It's got all that. It has to have it, pretty much.
Right. So I mean, it's very much an homage to that style, don't you agree?
It's very much got that. I will say, I don't know if this would be for everybody, because a lot of these DC Batmans we get now are a lot darker, and this one, even though it has its dark elements, it's not as dark as the usual stuff.
I think it's fine, since we get a number of these. You know, something a little different. It's different.
True. But if you are a fan, if you liked Return of the Cape Crusaders and you like the 60s Batman, you'll definitely love this cartoon.
I mean, that show has a number of fans. It was very popular in the 60s. It kind of helped revive the comics in the 60s. I think now we can, you know, now that we've gotten so many different versions of Batman, like on TV and film, I think we can accept the 60s TV show for what, and we can enjoy the Adam West animated movies. And I'm glad we got them. You know, I mean, you know, rest in peace, Adam West. God bless him. I mean, you know, he was a talented performer. You can't deny it.
Yeah, I mean, this movie's a little cheesy and a little silly at parts, but overall, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's the style. That's the style of that show, though. So
it is. I agree.
Thank you, Adam West in DC Animation for doing that movie. All right. So that, I think that about does it for today. So we have the cool Boba Fett Funko Pop. This was the shared exclusive. So this. Also, I did finally get the I finally got my SNES Classic Edition from Amazon.
How's that been so far?
It's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. We'll talk more about that on a later show.
You like Mega Man X so far?
I love Mega Man X. It's one of my favorite games ever. So before we go, though, next show, I will be seeing Thor Ragnarok this week. So that's, I think that'll be our main topic for our next show. So be on the lookout for a spoiler cast from us for Thor Ragnarok, Marvel's next live-action extravaganza from Marvel Studios. Are you seeing Thor this week? Do you know?
There's a screening on the 30th, so I hope to see it. So we'll see.
Good to see it. So yeah, I'm going to be seeing Thor Ragnarok coming up. So we're going to be talking about that one really soon, right, Jay? Are you looking forward to Thor Ragnarok at all?
Yeah, I am. I think it's going to be really good.
Okay, so yeah. So I'm Jeffrey Harris of 411 Mania. You can check out my reviews and more at 411mania.com. Jay, where can everyone find you online?
On the Good Men Project. I just started writing again for DBA Publishing a little bit, so you can find me on there.
Congrats. Thank you, everybody. Jay, thank you for joining me this week, and we will see you soon. Thank you, everybody.
Okay.